All right, the second annual Aquatic Invaders Summit is happening this fall.
It's a statewide event open to the public, really anyone who's concerned about Minnesota waters. So joining us now with the details, Jeff Forrester, the Executive Director of Minnesota Lakes and River Advocates. Good morning, Jeff. Thanks for being
Morning,
here.
Jeff.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
You know, okay, this is important because even if you don't live on a lake, you don't have a cabin, I mean, lakes are a huge part of living in Minnesota,
Right.
and we need to be concerned about what's going on, especially these invasive species, which is, I mean, we're hearing more and more about these. What's happening?
Well, it's that time of year that people start to notice them. So things are coming in and out of lakes, and they're reaching the maturity, so they're finding them. But yes, the invasion continues, and really, it's, you know, we've got almost 900,000 registered watercrafts in the state, and 13,000 lakes, and we have a real ethic about access. So people have unfettered access to the lakes 24/7, and that's how it's spread. So there's this tension between needing to protect the resource and access,
Right.
providing access.
Well, we always hear about zebra mussels.
Right.
Those are the biggies that we hear about. 6 new lakes infected this season. Some of these lakes have been treated, theoretically, to prevent this from happening. Those methods have not worked. So I'm assuming things are evolving and adapting.
You mean the zebra mussels?
Yeah.
Well, it's hard because a lot of the chemicals you have to use need to be at concentration for 3 or 4 hours. I mean, zebra mussels, you put something in the water and they clam up, right? And then it's got to be in the water long enough to impact them. So it's difficult on a lake-wide basis to put something in the water that only kills zebra mussels, that lasts long enough to kill them.
And won't take out everything else.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
So it's a very it's better to prevent.
Right.
The treatment options are not good at this point.
So that's zebra mussels, but that's not the only species that we have to worry about. It seems like every
Right.
year we're hearing about a new one. We just heard about a new one just a couple days ago. I mean, is this just each year a new species kind of forms and evolves? And
Well, starry stonewort is the latest, and there's 5 or 6 lakes in Wisconsin that have it, and we assume that it probably came from there. Coronis was designated last year, and now Turtle Lake up near Mille Lacs. And there's worse things than starry stonewort. There's hydrilla, there's bloody shrimp, there's golden clam, but there's hope. The Great Lakes haven't had a new infestation since 2006.
Oh.
So
Well,
if you
10 years
control,
now. Yeah.
right, so if you control the vector, if you stop the infested boats from launching in the lake, you stop the spread. But we're up against this unlimited access. And so there's that question, that balance, that public discussion between protection of resource and
the freedom
impacting-
that we're used to.
Right,
And the
right,
tourist
right,
industry and
right,
everything else.
right,
So then let's talk about solutions about what the average person can do to help or prevent this.
Well, really, the Minnesota legislature in 2014 put funding towards local efforts. So the counties have local efforts, and they're being driven by lake associations, soil and water conservation districts, soil and water watershed districts. So joining lake associations. I mean, lake associations are incredibly effective. There's almost 500 of them in the state. They have tens of thousands of members. They're putting in tens of thousands of hours of volunteer time and working with local resource managers. They're at the lakes. We have our challenge is access. Our currency is lake associations.
so tell us a little bit about the summit. If people aren't familiar, how does it work? What does it look like? Who would be interested? Tell us a little bit about that.
Anybody who has a role to play. So this year we have the National Professional Anglers Association is coming. So we've got angling groups, Minnesota Association of Resorts and Campgrounds, lake associations, watershed districts, soil and water conservation districts, anybody who's in this AIS effort. And we're bringing everybody together across the state because all the efforts have been local. So we're trying to increase the communication and collaboration and consistency between areas. And so we have speakers coming from across the country and then are featuring some of the best efforts in Minnesota. And there's a lot of really innovative things going on in the state. That's very exciting, and I think will have an impact over time.
Well, where can people find out more information about this, about invasive species in general, about the issues, or even just register?
Our website has a link, and it's www.minnesotalakesandrivers.com.
There you go.
Well, Jeff, thank you very much
Thank
for
you
being
so
here this
much.
morning.
I appreciate it.
Jeff Forrester, being here again, the website.
mnlakesandrivers.com.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeff.